Hi guys, welcome to Pet Rambles. I'm Pet and I'm going to ramble about the vinyl records that I bought in 2025. This is a recurring... he wants away. Say hello. This is Boberat, almost 2 years old. Yeah, you've seen something there. This is the most consistent video that I've been doing. I think I've been doing this for the past 9 years or something like that. Every year I like to make a video about the vinyl records that I bought last year. So yeah, it's 2026, January. I'm going to talk about the vinyl records that I bought in 2025. I've been doing this, as I've said, since 2017, 2018 and so on. I will put a graph somewhere on the screen where you can see the vinyl, how many vinyl records I bought every year. 2031 was pretty crazy, I know, but it seems that I'm kind of like an average of 30 something records. I kind of like slowed down a little bit, mostly because I'm kind of tired of spending money on shipping to some degree. I've also spent some money on books last year, so this is why I'm kind of like much more careful of what I'm buying, when I'm buying, and what I'm ordering. Like, I will plan for this year to also start to make videos about my music collection, and I will start with a couple of different videos. I already done one on how I'm protecting my vinyl records with outer sleeves and inner sleeves and so on, and another important one will be how I'm organizing my collection of records, because I need some suggestions. So this is one of the purposes that I'm making those videos. And another one is like, how can I tell you about this record, why I find... Let's take this one. This is the first one. Like, I like this record, it's in my collection, I want to make a video about it, right? Kind of like a review, but not really a review. How am I going to tell you in words why I like this album to entice you to also give it a listen or something like that? I don't know. I've been overthinking this for way too long. So yeah, let's start with the first record. This is Mitch Murder and Pizza. How is it called? Pizza Hotline. Yeah, it's kind of like a mix of them together. Mitch Murder, it's one of my favorite artists, the most listened artist for me in 2050, 10 years ago, oh my god, in 2016 also. So yeah, I'm kind of like buying everything that he is releasing, even that right now the music he's doing is mostly 90s drum and bass, kind of like that. And this is, it's not like the proper new retro wave, synthwave style that he's been known for. It's kind of like a drum and bass record, but I do enjoy the cover. I enjoy the packaging. I do need to listen to it some more, but yeah, I ordered this in 2024, and this arrived like 1 year ago in January 2025. So this is why it's on this list, basically. Yeah. Then I ordered 2 records from Black Screen Records, which is a German label distributor of video game music, video game soundtracks, which I actually have a lot of. And I was kind of thinking like if I should buy the Outer Wilds album. I played the game, I loved the game. It was like one of the best games, like very unique anyway. I still remember the emotions that this game gave me, and the music itself is like very cozy to some degree, depends on the songs. And I kind of didn't want to buy it, but then it was out of print, it came back, and I was like, okay, let's pull the trigger, mostly because I wanted to buy the next record that you will see. But this one has a pretty nice packaging, this matte cover, and it's a gatefold actually, because it's open up like this. This is the back of it, and I'm actually thinking on making some videos about my video games records, because I do have like, you can see them there. Those are only vinyl records. Anyway, if you want to listen to this, look for Timber Heart or Outer Wilds, the first 2 songs of this album. I think they are pretty emblematic. World of Warcraft, the original soundtrack. This is the one that I initially wanted to order. I kept thinking if I should, if I shouldn't. I managed to grab a copy. I think this is the orange one. There are a couple of releases, but this one is the one that's with, I think there is a release with different cover, but it's the same album maybe. But this one is the classic soundtrack of the game. I think I don't see unfortunately I don't see the track listing, but They have the Stormwind soundtrack here, the Iron Force soundtrack over here, or something like that. I do remember the Stormwind soundtrack, which is why I kind of wanted to get this for the nostalgia trip, because I've been a World of Warcraft player from end of 2006, after the South Park episode, of course, until mid 2010. But yeah, it's kind of like those games where I made some friends online. I've learned to speak English, a little bit better because I had to speak with them on TeamSpeak and Ventrilo. Do you remember Ventrilo? And yeah, it was a pretty fun experience, and this is why I kind of like liked. I wanted to get this in my collection. Then I've got part-time Cryosleep Explorer. I got this last year. I mean, the video before, in 2024, it came out on cassette the first time, and I remember that first the cassette came out, but the album was not available anywhere digitally, and I kept waiting for people to receive their order of the cassette, so someone will rip the cassette. So this is how I initially started to listen to this album, on the audio rip of a cassette that someone made. But yeah, anyway, Part-Time released this also on vinyl record. It's not a gatefold, but it has 2 records. It's on glow in the dark kind of color. I already have a record. One of my first records in my collection, it's Infectious Grooves with it glows in the dark, but that one sounds very, very poorly. This one sounds better, actually. It sounds normal, no white noise. But yeah, this is in case you don't know, and maybe if you are new, Part-Time is my most. It's still, after all this, like 5 years or so in a row, my most listened band, and he's my favorite band right now. And I'm using the word band, but it's basically one dude. He's doing this in his room. And when he's performing live, he has a band, but he hasn't performed live in like 5 years or so. And also, everything is recording in house. Only one album is as a studio album, like a proper studio album. But yeah, this one, it's kind of like a synth pop band, synth rock band, they lo-fi kind of band, depend on the albums that you're listening. This one is a little bit weirder. I'm not sure like what genre to put it in, because it's more acoustic guitar. Generally, no, they have electronic guitar, more keyboards and so on. This one is a little bit weirder. And listen to the 4th song, Eyes in the Cabin Window, which is it even a song? It's pretty weird. But to tell you what to listen to, like a proper song, the 8th song, Black, it's having this type of really weird font, so it's very hard to listen, to read. But it's kind of like 3 songs into one song, and at minute 1.10, something like that, it's the song really kicks into something like really nice. Quasar Cathedral. So it's Black, something Waltz, Quasar Cathedral, and Arrival, same song. Let that one play. But then the Oracle of Gaia, it's also nice. The Signal from Centauri is also nice. The Siren Celestial, it's also nice. This one even has Master of the Sky instrumental. That's a song that came out on another album that I like. But yeah, this one is pretty awkward. Even the cover and the whole thing by itself, like I really like when an author, it's an artist is experimenting with various things. And yeah, this album is pretty experimental to some degree, especially in Part-Time's universe. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 original soundtrack. This is a video game. I absolutely love the video game, one of my favorite RPGs ever. Maybe Gothic 2, it's kind of like the most favorite one because it has the nostalgia factor, because I played that game 23 years ago, right? This one is newer, but I absolutely love the game, and I decided to buy the soundtrack. And when I did the order, I ordered other things like some ceramic coasters and some socks and whatnot. I do like merch. And yeah, this is why I got the album itself. Again, it's a gatefold. It's opening up like this. Pretty nice. I am protecting it. I made a video about those sleeves, those special gatefold sleeves. Like you can open them and the interior is also protected. But yeah, then I got Leo Christopher's Murmur 1001, however it's called. It's me and Leo used to work together. I'm not sure if you can see the name and whatnot. I told him to sign it. Me and Leo worked together years ago at a company, and we keep chatting one here and there. And when I found out that he's making music, I told him like years ago, like, when are you going to release it on record? Well, and he's like, yeah, he has it in plan. This was like 4 years ago, and 2 years ago or something like that, he got this released. And when I went to UK with work, we kept trying to meet up and drink a beer at least, but this time he actually bring the record over, so now I have this in my collection. This is minimal techno, which is something that I generally don't listen to, but you know, one of my purposes is to have any genre in my collection or something like that. So it's also like, you know, nicer. Like normally I wouldn't go, oh, let's buy minimal techno. It's not something that I actively go to look for and buy from. But now that I'm thinking of, there is an interesting YouTube compilation video, like a 1 hour video that sometimes I like to play, and there are like 2 songs that I like there. Maybe I should look if those are on vinyl also, which is a bad idea because, you know, I'm trying not to spend money. I try to save a little bit, and you know, with vinyl records it's hard. But yeah, it's also it's nicer when you actually get to get something in your collection by something that a buddy of yours is doing, and especially when you get to sign it up, it has a story, you know. Yeah. Mac DeMarco, another one. The story with this one, you will see this again in this video, not this exact edition, but a different edition. I also have this. I have the original album. I have the demos that came out in 2018. Do I have another one? Get it? Then I have this one, but the story with this one is that I was looking at the beginning of the year at things on my wish list on Discogs, and this came out. It's like, man, this thing is still in stock, it's still available, and I click on it. I was like, where is this store located? It was in London. It was in Hackney area, which is an area that I was planning on actually visiting. And when I went to the record store, it was actually like 1 kilometer out of where I was already to drink something. It was like the Unnatural Museum of Cabinet of Curiosities. It was a very interesting gin place with. Anyway, I'm rambling, but the story with this edition, why I wanted to have this edition, is that this edition is coming with. It has the normal album, and on the second record, it has the instrumentals. Not the demos, the instrumentals, which I didn't have. Also, the initial album is on some kind of olive green color, which I like. And when I was looking at the pictures, I saw this thing and I was like, oh, this is the record, the instrumentals record, probably because the other one, it's olive green, right? But no, this is actually a slip mat. It's actually a slip mat. So it's pretty funny. Maybe I should use it. I have a couple of slip mats, but yeah, it's an actual slip mat. It also has a poster, so it has everything. And it was only £40. Online it was more expensive with shipping and with customs and whatnot. I was like, no, I'm going to go to the store. I arrive at the store. The guy asked me, can I help you? And no, I'm going to look for the teas myself. I looked at it. It was there. I was like, I'm going to buy something from you from a lot of years ago. You have been this, and he looked at, yeah, I've been having this in stock for like the past 3 years. So I decided to buy it. And it was also cheaper because online it was £45. I paid £40 for it, and no customs or shipping. So yeah, I kind of like doing this whenever if I'm going to, and I will travel to London again with work. I'm going to try to find other things in the area, maybe some albums that I want, because I don't really enjoy this. I don't enjoy records hall or however you call it. Like, I'm trying not to spend money. So whenever I'm going to a record store, I'm kind of like, what's calling to me? There are a couple of records that have been like that, and I just look around, like, okay, this is interesting. I look at the price; it's in pounds, and sometimes 30 pounds. But if I go in Europe, I can find it for 30 euros, which is much cheaper. And if I'm buying it online, someone who doesn't have an online shop, a physical shop, it's even cheaper than that. So it's kind of like I'm wasting. I can save, of course, on customs or on shipping, but the things that I generally buy, they are more obscure. I do not find them in stores, so I'll be like, oh, I do want this one, let's buy it. And the ones that I find in stores, I can buy at any other stores that's maybe even locally. So, but yeah, sometimes I do enjoy to just look around, maybe see what I can find. Maybe there is something on sale. Maybe sometimes even take a chance and buy something randomly, like I did last year. But yeah, anyway. Mac DeMarco, another one edition with the instrumentals and poster and part-time anime. Return to Cherries. Return to Cherry. This was my holy grail. I believe I spoke about this in 2021 video, where I've been looking for this album for years. Does this even exist? Because Discog was saying that it does exist, but at the same time there were no pictures with it. And I've looked at pictures, and then I found, I think it was Nardwar with a picture with this album, and Nardwar, and I was like, okay, this album still exists. Like, I looked for record stores in Texas area where Part-Time is, near El Paso or something like that. I've looked for everywhere. Again, this was like pretty limited, the original one, not this one. It was like only 500 copies or something like that. And in 2021, a record came out on the finally to sell on Discogs. Like, none of them were for sale. Also, like, this is why I wasn't able to find it. At least to negotiate with the like $200. Like, can you negotiate? The guy was like, make me an offer. I was like $80. He said 100. I was fine. So 100 plus $125. And I got the original one, which is limited edition number and so on. This is a repress because Part-Time is repressing a lot of their albums. Hopefully they will continue. I haven't released something in like 6 months or something like that. And that one was black. This one is actually cherry red. So yeah, buying, even that I already have the album, I'm buying it again because this one is in cherry red. And as I've said, I collect Part-Time stuff. I kind of have everything except some cassettes. Initially I wasn't collecting cassettes, but now I'm also starting to get cassettes. I'm missing some colored editions, and I'm missing a 7-inch, which I can't make myself buy it because it's a little bit too expensive for a 7-inch. Like, I would pay at least 50 euros for it. Maybe when I get the bonus or something, I don't know. Then I was going around at an event in my town where some records were being sold by various people, new records, and I saw Violent Femmes, Hallowed Ground. But let me actually go back, because I rambled about this one, but I haven't told you what songs to listen to. And same thing about Mac DeMarco. Oh my god. Mac DeMarco, yeah, listen to the whole album because okay, I have the track list on the back. Another one, The Way You Love Her, A Heart Like Hers, A Heart Like Hers. Try those. And on Part-Time, listen to Animal Machines. This is the reason, one of the reasons why I bought this. It's also because it has my favorite song ever, I think, which I've listened to more than 1,000 times. I can see that on the stats. Animal Machines from Part-Time. And then Return to Cherry, the last song. This is also a compilation, by the way. It's not a full album. Return to Cherry was an album that I actually discovered because it's Return to Cherry, the song. I discovered the song because I listened to it on the record, as a vinyl record, because I already listened to this album a couple of times, but it's always easy to just go to the songs that you like and not listening to the whole thing. But Return to Cherry, especially after the middle of the song, it turns into some kind of surreal movie kind of soundtrack song. Try it. So let's go back to Violent Femmes. It's one of my favorite albums. I do want to also get the first one. They were really out of print, but they started to repress them and they started to pop up again. There was a really nice one with a green. I think mine is black. Yeah, mine is black. with a green color. But anyway, let's talk about the music. Violent Femmes. It's a band where they were very popular in the 80s and maybe early 90s a little bit, but 84, I think the first album is 84 and this one is 85, 86 or something like that, I forgot. But listen to Never Tell, this is the third song, and Hallowed Ground, which is also the name of the album. Hallowed Ground sounds really nice. Just try that one and see how it starts. Never Tell, it's a bit of a longer song. It is like 7 minutes or something, and it has like a progression. What I like about this band is that they are punkish. They are pretty acoustic. I mean, the bass guitarist is singing on an acoustic bass guitar, and the drummer is not a drummer, is a percussionist. He sings while sitting, and drumming like that. And I think that's how they started, by being like a troubadour kind of band. So yeah, Sextile album is called Yes Please. I listened to like 1 or 2 songs from them. They were in like a playlist of mine, and Georgia was like, let's go to see them in Budapest. And we actually went. We left at 5. We saw the concert. We arrived in Budapest. We saw the concert, and then we returned. We arrived at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. something like that. Yeah, so it was an interesting concert. It was pretty fun. Not sure if it was worth it overall because of the tiredness and so on, but sometimes it's nice to go out and be like that. And yeah, I decided to buy the album. It wasn't signed because when I bought the album, it was before the concert, and I got this to the car. But I got my ticket inside, and I got the guy sign the ticket. I don't know what song to tell you to buy, to listen, because as I said, I went to the concert. Haven't listened to this album in particular, only once maybe. But yeah, the concert was pretty nice. I remember we talked with him after the concert for a little bit, and he was like, for this album, he kind of wanted to go more into the. He remembers when he was younger, and they were going to those house parties, and there was a song that started playing, and then everybody was starting to singing like how that song, and it kind of got that vibe on how it's very energetic, and when the song starts, they get very energetic. Then we are going to talk about 3 records, because initially I wanted to buy this one. I discovered this. I discovered her Hanne Kölstö, I believe. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. I forgot how I discovered this album, but listen while I'm rambling about this. Put in the background the 4th song, Stain Sucks, or something like that. However, it's that thing is called. Very interesting synths. I like her voice, her clean voice, and so on. It is a little bit calming. The album is decent. I was kind of when I got this, I was kind of prepared to make a video about it, and I listened to this album in my car while I was driving around at night, and it was okay. It's okay, but that song, it's like special, and I decided to buy it. I was looking at Discogs on the wish list. I was like, I've been having this for like years. It's like 10 euros. 10 euros, I can spend 10 euros on a record that I like the whole packaging. I like it's the second album that I have from her. Let's go for it. And because I cannot spend 10 euros on a record and then 15 euros on shipping, I got 2 others that I will go in a second. But yeah, she's from Norway. I like the type of slow tempo synth pop that she's doing, and that song has something special. Then when I was looking to see what to buy, and I need to change this. I don't like this thing. But it's nice that when you buy from a record shop, they have their own kind of sleeves. But it's too loose and it's branded, and I don't like them branded. I like to see the art cover. I got Beatles. I'm not going to go into too many details. I don't like Beatles that much. I've tried 20 years ago when I was in my exploratory phase. I got access to faster internet and dial-up, and I went to listen to a lot of things. And of course, lots of people say that Beatles is the best band ever, and so on and so on and so on. I was like, okay, let's listen to it. And I'm not saying that it's a bad band. when I was younger, I used to say it's a very overrated band. But you know, it's hard to know because we are living now. They were very popular back then, and the music that they were playing was innovative and so on. So it's very hard right now to judge something because music is not only about the notes that are coming up; it's also the things surrounding. Like when you're looking at an album, you're looking at the packaging, you're looking at not a song in particular, you're looking at how the songs have been compiled together, if the album is telling a story, and so on and so on. So I was like looking at what to buy. Again, the record store was having like 2,000 records. I was like, I'm not going to spend that much time. I was like, okay, Beatles. And someone said that this album is actually okay, or like very good, and it is interesting, but it doesn't stand out to me that much in the sense that I will, oh, okay, let's put this one up. This one is actually I think it might be my oldest record that I have. It's from '67, right when the album came out. It's in from Japan. It used to also have an obi, but I don't have the obi. And there is a song that I like, or I found the lyrics interesting. The one with the horse, I don't, but it's something with the horse, and it's rhyming very interesting. Like Harry the horse, something something. Anyway, it's not a bad album, but I will listen to it some more. It's a pretty good condition, and it sounds really nice for an album that's so old. But on this order, this is the third album from that order. This one has been absolutely blowing me out, and probably this is why maybe I'm not that impressed by that Beatles album. But Fleetwood Mac, Tango in the Night. I wanted to buy Rumors. Rumors had been on my wish list for a long time, but then I was like, I looked at the song and I was like, this album has Big Love, which is a song that I love, Seven Wonders, and also Little Lies. I was like, I'm going to buy this. And people used to say, and people always say, that old records sound much better than the new records. Oh, it's analog. It's not made from digital files. It's made from and so on and so. Whatever. A lot of records, new ones, they sound fine. They sound fantastic. It does depend sometimes on the pressing. You can maybe get a bad pressing that has skips and whatnot. Depends also on your gear and so on. But this one, I'm not sure if it's something with this pressing in particular. This is from '87, right? The year when this album came out. The moment you put Big Love and it's starting, was like everything was so full, so dynamic, so like I'm not sure like what words to describe it. I was like, whoa, this sounds really, really incredible. And the whole album is incredible. And I also, when I was listening to this, because of you can't skip songs and so on, I put aside and I let it play. The song Tango in the Night, like the album. I generally don't like guitar that much. It depends. I'm not going to go into details why and so on. But this song has like some really, really incredible way. I don't know how that guitar is going on. Like very electric guitar, like sounds very powerful. It's kind of like also at the end of the song and so on. But yeah, what I wanted to do actually, and I put one in the wish list or in the cart, but with no intent to buy yet. But now it's sold out. I will have to see. There are some other releases of this album. One of the releases is on 2 discs with 45 RPM. This one is the Classic 33. I was like, let's compare them. So I got this. Let's buy a new pressing that's 45 RPM with 2 discs. So it's supposed to be like audiophile something. And I even got another edition, which I also plan to buy just so I can make a video to compare the sounds and so on. Not sure when I will do that, but yeah. Then it's a bit funny on how I said that I don't enjoy guitar that much, but the second album, the next album that I'm showing you, it's Guitar by Mac DeMarco, which by the way, I managed to see live this year in Berlin. And I filmed the whole concert, and it's on YouTube on my personal channel. Yeah, Mac DeMarco new album. I also prepared, I got my notes. I was also preparing on making a video about it. It's not a bad album, actually. I was pretty scared because Mac right now, it's kind of like going with this different kind of phase in his life, so he's not making the songs that made him popular, you know, those high tempo energetic songs and so on with a lot of synth waves. And this album, you might say it's boring, or maybe slow. I'm sure, like, not boring as it's putting you to sleep, but it's very monotone. I'm not sure how to put it. Maybe all the songs sound the same a little bit, but it's more towards songwriting. This album is more towards songwriting because it's focused a lot. It also sounds very simple in the sense that it has guitar, it has some drums, and maybe a little bit of bass, but they don't stand up. Like the song that is coming to my mind right now, it's Holy, which is, it stands up because at some point he has the chorus, he has the lyrics, and at some point he says holy. He's changing his voice, and it's like, whoa, what's that, you know? But then when I was listening, I had this on repeat, and I think it was Phantom or Nightmare. He has like the chorus where, baby boy, you little baby, or something like that. I forgot exactly how it is. I was like, oh, okay, it is Mac. When I was listening to that chorus, I was like, okay, it is Mac. And the design of this whole thing, it's very yellowish, very not accessible friendly, because you can't really read white with this. We have lyrics here. Very hard to listen to. But was it Nightmare? No, I don't think it was Nightmare. Anyway, I will make a video about this because it was pretty enjoyable. Live, it was even more, it was even nicer. And maybe he sung all the songs from this album. But because he was with a live band, proper bass, proper keys, proper drums, and so on, the song sounded even fuller and nicer. But yeah, I'm happy that Mac is experimenting and still touring and still releasing things. And I got Primus. I think I got it in the same order with Mac. I think I have almost all the Primus records. I'm missing the two conceptual ones, the one with the Chocolate Factory and the Desaturated 7. It is colored into like this. And yeah, Primus is one of my favorite bands because you can see the bass guitar that's there. That's right now just a prop. I'm waiting to hit 40 so I can start the band. Yeah, I like bass guitar and I like the weirdness and funkness of Primus. Very hard to describe their genre or whatnot. But this album actually has a lot of good songs. Too Many Puppies, To Defy the Laws of Tradition, Mr. Nolan, Fizzle Fry, John the Fisherman. Jesus Christ, so many good. The Tones Winding Down starts very weird in the sense. Hard of the Rocks, Spaghetti Western, yeah, all of them start very unique and they are very unique songs. So Primus, Fizzle Fry, Black Ox Orchestra. This is an album that I've been listening to for a lot of years. It was kind of like in my wish list here and there, and I decided to finally pull the plug right now. It's kind of like some of the bands are from Godspeed You Black Emperor. However, is that the band name? Anyway, this is kind of like Yiddish music, and as I've said, I do like to have different kind of genres, different kind of things. They even sing in Yiddish. They even have that clarinet, which is kind of like popular, common with this style of music. Listen to Violin Duet, which starts slow, but then near the end of the song, it starts with violin, which is the tune itself. It's common in my ear in the sense it's also from Transylvania, so that tune is popular in Transylvania. I cannot tell you the name or whatnot, but when I heard the song, I was like, it sounds very familiar. And then Ratsker Grek, this one starts slow, but second 40 or 50, something like that. The drums are really nice, and how they start like that. It was like, okay, nice. And then the clarinet is doing like in the same order. I got Ariel Pink. It's part of their. Haven't properly listened to this Loverboy. It's a lot of his very early stuff, DIY, that he was recording got released on vinyl. This was 10 euros. This is why I put it in the collection. And I also like Ariel Pink, so I was like, I'm going to buy it, even that I don't know anything about this album in particular. So yeah, I do need to listen to it so I can form a better opinion. But yeah, I do like Ariel Pink in general. Pom Pom is maybe my favorite. I do have like, what, 3 albums from Ariel Pink, with this one being the 4th. Then I got Earth, Hex, or how is the album called? Hex, or Printing the Infernal Method, or Printing the Infernal Method. Yeah. I remember I found out about Earth in 2007 in college, and I do have 2 other albums. The one that stands to me the most is The Bees Made Honey in the Lion's Skull. That one came out in 2008. This one came out in 2005. It was also like out of print, pretty hard to find. Not too hard, but not easily accessible. And when I looked at on HHV to prepare for the order for Primus and the others one that you just saw, I was like, okay, let's put this one in. Listen to the 5th song, Lens of Unrectified Night. Just play 5 seconds. It's drone, very slow tempo, very peculiar to listen in a sense. This is why I like Earth. Kneecap. I got this. Look how nice they look. Ireland. Found about Kneecap last year, and I do like their style. I don't really listen to lyrics in general, but I do like the instrumentals, how things flow up. I was like, hey, I'm going to buy this if I'm going to find it in store, and I found it in store when I went to Rough Trade, and decided to get it. The first song I like, it's pretty hard to, Better Way to Live. It's classic one. And there was like 2 other ones, but it's pretty hard to read with this style of font. But yeah, Gorillaz, The Fall. I got this also when I got Kneecap from Rough Trade. They had like a Gorillaz sale, like all their albums were on sale, and I didn't bought them on days. At some point, I was planning whenever I was ordering something on Amazon, I was also buying a CD. Back then, I was getting CDs to collect, and I was planning on buying them on days. But after like around 5 or 6 years ago, I gave them on days a listen. I was like, maybe I'm not enjoying this that much. But then this was on 17 euros or something like that. I was like, I'm going to get The Fall, and I'm enjoying this a lot. And while I was preparing for this video, I gave this album a lot of listen. I was like, this is 5 out of stars, 5 stars out of 5. But the thing is that it starts very good. The first songs like Powner to Arizona, Revolving Doors, Hillbilly Man, Detroit, they all very good. But there are a couple of annoying songs on the B side. But what I like about this album is the simplicity, because it's just Gorillaz. All the albums, all the other albums are like featuring that, featuring this, featuring that artist, and so on. Which it is interesting by itself, but it's a little bit like sometimes I do want more simplicity and how to put it. Maybe I will speak about this some other time. But it feels more cohesive. Versus when you have various featuring artists, they don't feel that coherent, right? Cohesion, something like that. But yeah, 2010 was a pretty weird year because we got. Oh, I know I have a lapsus. How the hell do you call it? The first album from 2010. I do have it. It's very great. Melancholy Hill and other songs like that. And then a couple of months later, we got The Fall. I was like, okay. Got Terrier. To the Alps EP. I do have the album which has those songs, but then I do like the art of this one, and the songs on this EP are like fantastic. And this one starts with Inspector North. So listen to Inspector North. Fantastic song. Like, I like it's long, but I like how it's building up. I like how it has a nice flow, nice sounds, the drums, like how it goes. And the reason why I got it, I got this when I was in Berlin. I went to the HHV store, the physical store, which is more of a clothing store than it's a record store. I was expecting to see like a lot of records, but most of the records are in some kind of warehouse, not in the store itself. Um, so yeah, I was looking what to buy because since I'm there, let's try to find something. And in the return bin, it was this. Like they had like four turntables to listen to something that you plan to buy or something like that, and you pick what you want, you will listen to it, and then you put them in the return bit so the employee can put it back where it's supposed to go. And I saw this immediately. I was like, so it's like I'm going to buy this. And also like there in HHV, I was like looking at what else to buy, and they have like, it seems that Japanese music is start to be everywhere, all stuff getting repressed and so on and so on. They are pretty expensive because of the imports, I guess, and so on. And I saw this, and I remember the cover. It's Haruomi Honso. Mark DeMarco is a huge fan of this guy, and that's how I found out about this guy. And I listened to this album before, and was like, again, thinking like if I should spend it. It was like almost 40 euros, this record. I was thinking, should I buy it? I was like trying to put it on Spotify to listen to it like this, to see if I could. I was like, why am I doing this? This was already open. I was like, I just turned around. I went to on a turntable, and I put the headsets on, and was like, listen to it. Like, okay, this is pretty fun. And this whole thing is pretty fun. I'm not sure what to recommend you. Just look at this album on YouTube. Let the first two songs start playing, and you will see like it's like having like pretty nice tune to it. Mark DeMarco, another one. No, you haven't seen this before. This is the Mark DeMarco's Another One 10 years edition that came out in November last year. It's coming up with it has the album itself, and then on the second record it has the demos, which as I've said, I already have. But yeah, because I'm buying all the things from Mark DeMarco, I also got this one. The 10-year edition are nice that they have different colors, and they also have like an inlet of stuff where Mark DeMarco is saying various things, and which is since it's easy for me to remove it, so it's always coming with something like this, like lots of things, and it has notes that Mark said about like trying to remember how he recorded this and so on and whatnot, and also like photos that he took when this album was being produced and so on, which is again nice to have and look at. And the last thing that I got, which I actually got like 5 days ago, Death, Individual Thought Patterns. I don't really get metal or very aggressive things on records, on vinyl, because when I'm listening to vinyl, I need to go on a particular mood. But when I listen to metal or more aggressive things, it's a different kind of mood, which I usually listen with headset on when I'm in bed at night, like lying down, and I go on a journey, let's put it like that, or something like that. It's harder to do this journey on record because I cannot skip, I cannot move back, and so on. The thing with that is that it's one of my favorite bands. I discovered them in 2005. Long story short, this is my favorite album from them. And I was like, let's buy it. Strictly from that idea, because hey, it's a band that I respect, and I do want to have this in the collection. I don't regret on buying it, but it sounds a little bit flat, or again, not sure how to describe it. But and then I listen to the actual recordings, and again, this is how the album sounds anyway, so it's not a problem with the pressing itself. But yeah, what to listen on this song, on this album? The Philosopher, the last song, it's actually pretty emblematic. I do like Out of Touch. I do like everything from this album. It's kind of like a journey for me, so it's kind of listen to The Philosopher if you really want to try something out. Out of Touch, Destiny, yeah, Mentally Blind. The thing with this album also is that they have what they have Steve DiGiorgio on bass, so it's fretless bass. The drummer Ginny Hogan, how to pronounce his name, also like very good atomic clock, I think they used to call him. So it's a very high technical death metal. So yeah, this is kind of it We are at the end. I've been speaking for almost 50 minutes. Oh my god. Uh, I'm not sure if you noticed, but in the end, I kind of like cut some things off because my mouth is tired of speaking, of rambling. So yeah, this was it. This was the journey for 2025. I'm not sure what 2026 will hold up. I'm still very careful with the things that I buy and when I buy and so on. I did found something that was interesting, some new retrowave record. I was like, huh, should I buy it? It's like $30 for the album, $15 for shipping, and then I was like, maybe, and then customs. I was like, no, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be chill. I'm going to be more. I'm not even sure like what's the target. There is no target in general. Like what do I want to focus on and so on. It's whatever I feel, whatever I want. Depends on the budget. What depends what's available. What if something got repressed or something. There is something that's in my mind, and I will try to look for that, which is the Depeche Mode. They have the singles from 81 and to 85, I believe. I grew up with that album, with that cassette tape, which I still should have somewhere. And I think that would be like an interesting story for another time if I could find the tape. I do have the original Walkman that I used to listen when I was 3 years old. I spent a lot of time by myself when I was little with music. So this is why music is something special. And that album in particular, that's a target for the next year. So anyway, thank you guys for listening to me. I will prepare to make the video about my collection, record collection, and turntable and so on, kind of like mixing them up, and also what I'm planning to read in 2026, kind of. But again, no more plans, kind of like letting some things to happen. Anyway, thanks. See you soon. Bye.